Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I know it has been a long time, but it's just been a stupid, crazy, busy summer with the lawn service and trying to work a 40-hour job. Just haven't had no time pretty much to do anything, except for I have done just a little bit of shop work. We'll go over that in another video, but today I had a company reach out to me called Review-Flashark. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Had to think a minute. They carry a vast selection of products, and one of them being an intake elbow. You know, my truck is deleted and tuned. One of the things that was not changed was the intake elbow. Not even getting rid of the throttle control valve right there. When you delete these, a lot of times they'll come with, the kit will come with a throttle control valve delete, which is one of these right here, which I had extra and never got around to putting on. Review-Flashark, like I said, reached out to me, wanted to know if I wanted to do a video on their intake elbow, and I jumped at the chance because I don't really have one, other than that delete pipe for the throttle control valve. Anyway, so far, not real bad. Stainless steel construction, laser cut flange, all welded seam. Welds look pretty good around here. It does have your dent in it for your fuel line. It does come with a new gasket and your dipstick bracket. You get back to the backside right here, which is going to be seen the most, and the welds just aren't really the prettiest. This comes in at 120 bucks on their website. There will be a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and pick one up for yourself. Now, that's not saying every one of them is going to be manufactured this way, but this is just one of the things that stood out to me the most was, you know, the welds get kind of crappy looking right through here and then on top. And this is where it's most visible. So I was kind of disappointed about that. It will have a relocation for your map sensor. It will go underneath. And it does have a couple of MPT ports. If you want to measure your boost here, you're able to do so. So we're going to go ahead and start getting the factory one out and get that one put in place. You will have some 10 millimeters you got to remove. Then you got to take your boot off of here and then unplug your map sensor, pull it out. The throttle control valve plug, I'll wrap it up with some of my EGR wiring and it'll just remain there. Your oil dipstick tube will get relocated here instead of there. So let's go ahead and start getting this apart. All right, this is a pretty simple disassembly and assembly. You have 6 10 millimeters, 3 on the back side, 3 on this front side. This is a long bolt right here. It'll go all the way through down into your intake plenum. You will have to remove your dipstick bracket and also the 11 millimeter on your intake boot. Press back here, unplug your map sensor. We can start taking these 10 millimeters out. Alright, after getting that factory intake elbow off, I'm rather pleased on how clean my grid heater is. A lot of guys will do a delete on these. I live in a cold climate, in the winter that is, and so I'm going to leave mine in place because it is needed where I live here in Ohio. But yeah, it's pretty darn clean. So now we'll just go ahead and get the gasket cleaned off of there, and also if there's any dirt and debris on this boot, you will make sure and wipe it off. On the throttle control valve, it's a pain in the butt to try and reach under there to get this unplugged while it's on. So as you saw, after I got it unbolted, I was able to turn it over and unplug it that way, and then that'll just get wrapped up someplace. You reuse your map plug. This will be your map sensor. This is that center bolt I was talking about. Let's head over to the bench and I'll show you guys a comparison between the two. So like I said, in the kit, you're going to get a dipstick bracket, you're going to get a new gasket, and you're going to get a nut and a bolt. Your center bolt right here in this location is going to be too long. As you can see, it's just a standard flange. So they give you an extra bolt to be able to replace this factory long one right here. And then you will reuse your dipstick bolt. And then there's a provided nut. The map sensor is a T15. Depending upon how many miles on your truck and where you're located, sometimes these will be corroded. Luckily enough, mine came out pretty easy. Go ahead and put that over there in my tray. And these are a rubber O-ring, so just give it a little bit of twist. Should hopefully pull right out. Just like so. It's giving me just a little bit of a trouble. I had to put the camera down and use 2 hands. We'll go ahead and put just a little bit of oil on that and get it back in this bottom side of this one. But I want to turn it over and do a comparison of the two so you can kind of check flow. So you got 2 3-inch inlets into a 4-inch, a 4-inch inlet, 2 3-inch outlets into your intake plenum. You can see quite a bit of carbon buildup in that actually. I was rather surprised on how clean my grid heater was with the carbon that's in right here. I guess that's why it's a good idea to be able to run a good fuel additive, like Hot Shots like I run. So you don't have all that carbon buildup on your grid heater. It really surprises me that there's not more than what there is. I mean, that grid heater is actually pretty darn clean, really. So we're gonna go ahead and put our map sensor in here, get that tightened down, get the gasket cleaned off of the intake plenum, and go ahead and get this installed. Like I said, just a small amount of oil, very small, very small, very small. Just to lubricate that O-ring up just a little bit. Goes in pretty nice. Alright, other than the welds, I have one more issue with this intake elbow. The map sensor block here is, well, it's off about 1/8 of a hole. So therefore I had to take a drill bit, ream this hole out ever so slightly so I was able to get this bolt started to be able to hold the map sensor in. As you can see, it does still sit at a little bit of an angle. It is sealed up, but this is an issue that I feel that they need to address as far as manufacturing. It's not something that would deter me from buying it, but it is an issue nevertheless. They need to take this hole and move it over just a little bit, and it should be in better alignment. Map sensors, when these are mass produced, it could be off as far as the map sensor. But as far as the tolerance, they need to have just a little bit better tolerance as far as how they manufacture this map sensor block. Alright, got everything cleaned off, all that old gasket material. Got the intake boot cleaned out. We are ready to reassemble. It is a good idea to use a shop vac as you're scraping that gasket material off. That way nothing falls down inside your intake plenum. As I was doing that, I had the shop vac there and was able to suck up all small debris and also the big chunks. I just went ahead and let the shop vac clean that up. One last look at the difference between the two. Not bad. Just for reference, if you guys need to do this all as well, sorry, I'll spit out my words. I did drill that out to a 13/64 to be able to get that to line up. Not too bad, but you shouldn't have to do that. So we'll go ahead and put our gasket in place. This will go blue side down. Go over there and start putting this in place. All right, put my gasket in place. Remember to put your blue line down. And then you can slide your intake elbow into place. Get my boot started. I forgot this guard has to come off. And get your bolt started. Alright, there it is, all installed. Shut the camera off just because that way you guys didn't see me struggling, or I'll tell you I'm struggling. Getting that center bolt in was kind of a pain in the butt. What I ended up doing was pulling the intake back off and chasing the threads with an M8 by 125 tap. That way the threads were nice and clean and I could reach in there and run that bolt down with my finger. To tighten that up, it was easier to take a wrench down like that. It gave me just enough room to have a little bit of throw to be able to tighten it up. Got everything tightened up. Right now I just got to take these two 8mm head bolts out, put the bracket on there, put the dipstick tube on the bracket, and then we will be done. Alright, with that, everything is done and this intake elbow is in place. I will say it does look better, even though, you know, I've said it a couple of times now, the welds look like crap. And then we had an issue with the map sensor plate. Got to do some tidying up as far as some wiring here. Get rid of those. In the future, we may be doing some more things. I don't know yet. I may take all this stuff apart and start deleting some wires out of the harness that is not needed as far as EGR, the throttle control valve, just make it look a little bit better. I do have some more plans for the truck, but gotta wait on finances to be available because I kind of want to build my own second gen swap kit. So anyway, Flashark, link is in the description for that product right there if you guys want to check it out. It is vastly better than the alternative right here.